The cow is not cooperating, but that's not a problem. I'm gonna tie it up here, get myself some milk, and then I'm gonna go back to mining. Starting with this block here, it's been trying to kill me one too many times. The idea behind the tunnel is that I can get to the monument undetected and mine out its support pillars for blocks. There's a certain rhythm through the whole thing. I mine, I curse, I drink. I mine, I curse, I drink. I mine, I curse, and I've got to go all the way back up to fetch more milk. So far I've been able to gather 15 blocks, which is one too few to get the conduit to work. Nice. I can breathe, I can see. This thing is supposed to also have protective powers, but I'm not sure they work at this basic level. We might find out because there's a lot of fishies around. Oof, clearly not working. Next up is expanding the conduit's range. I'm gonna need more blocks for that, camper, but this time I'm taking the clever approach. When I prepare these mission reports, I think ahead to what I'm going to be doing, how it's likely going to work out, and what parts of it I want to show you in my report. For this section, I'd foreseen me placing down 3 pieces of TNT, followed by quick explosions, and then me removing the Elder Guardians from existence. You know, the way other explorers do it. What you're seeing on screen is not quite that. Problem is, I'd forgotten to bring a redstone block, which I only found out as I placed down the TNT in completely the wrong spot, but let's not focus on that. As there was not a single piece of redstone to be found in the base and I had already taken one of only 2 invisibility potions, I decided to motor on. Crawl on may be the better term to use here, but I did eventually get rid of the first guardian. But mining fatigue is annoying, so I got myself a flint and steel, drank my last invisibility potion and jumped back into the water. Oh yes, that's why it had to be a redstone block now, I remember. Can I get it to work with a bit of sand? While other explorers show you, dear viewer, how it's done properly, I properly show you how it's not done. And yet somehow, despite my brain being on holiday that day, I still managed to conquer the monument. I did forget about the treasure in the sponges though, so I spent what was left of my invisibility bullying the local fish. Okay, so the range is now... it's working. Still working. I've gone too far. But that actually makes it easier. Now I'll instantly know when the power is back. There. This is really far. I like this. I like this a lot. I want to be able to swim around the on-water base and not have to worry about a lack of oxygen. The idiot villagers may have to wait a little longer. I think I'm gonna build myself a farm so I can construct thousands of conduits. As the collection area, I've chosen this corridor of the base. It's closest to the ocean monument where the farm area will be, but it does mean I have to tear down some of the stuff I recently built. I'm gonna have the hoppers deposit straight into the barrels down below. And this is what it looks like when it's done. Earlier on I called it the collection area, but actually it's also the kill zone. While I'm doing other activities in the base, fishes should be falling from the sky, I've yet to build that part, and die atop the hoppers. On the inside I've had to reinforce the ceiling and walls, And these are my 6 collection barrels. It's not a lot, but I don't expect this farm to do all that well. If I get a handful of drops a day, I'll be more than happy. Who would have thought brewing invisibility potions is this simple? I wish the villagers had told me before I started on this adventure. Although, to be fair, I'd rather not have known I've been drinking liquefied netherwort, spider eyes and redstone of all things. But with what I've got here, I can tackle the actual farm bit. I don't think I've ever shown you before, but I design a lot of my builds in a virtual world and then project a hologram to help with the construction. And this is what that looks like. Most of the time it works wonders, but for this build I have my doubts. The hologram doesn't show it too clearly, but this room where the virtual fishies have gathered is devoid of any water, while the areas below and above are full of the stuff. How am I gonna do that? I know I can use sponges to drain the space after I got them, but with the floor made up of scaffolding and a trapdoor ceiling, is that actually going to work? In an earlier version of the design, I left the capture room, the one with the virtual fishies, open to the sky. But the portals on the side made it look really ugly, especially when they are lit, so I lowered the whole thing and put that extra layer of water and trapdoors on top. The portals and frame are in place, now the true test begins. This is working quite well. Sponges tend to remove the water from the scaffolding, but a bucket of water in the right spot instantly fixes that issue. Same for the trapdoor ceiling. Even if I misplace a bucket of water now and then, the error is easily fixed without reflooding the entire capture zone. The farm is up and running and doing much better than I'd expected. So now I'm worried my storage system is not gonna hold up. There's a bit of manual sorting involved. This farm produces a lot of cod as a side product, which is why I invited Kani to the base. Unfortunately, she refuses to buy my fish, so I've gone back to Mortimer's village and hired Pokey to do the job. Before I go on my rescue mission, there's some small updates I need to make. This is killing me. I should probably phrase this differently. As far as I know, Keralis doesn't look like a farm, but you know what I mean. I see another conduit in my future. Right here. Can you imagine what it would be like? I could get rid of the ugly lights, fix up the riverbed, and I wouldn't have to come up for air all the time. That's another 3 for the collection. Ooh, I think I may have run out of temporary storage space. Yeah. Okay, this is gonna take a while, but once I'm done I'll get back to you with the results. Today I added 125 fish to the collection. 17 of those were doubles. I marked them in and on the chests with dirt blocks, and then I released them into the pond. I also encountered my first 2 triples. They're still in this barrel. I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do with them. The longer this project goes on, the more doubles, triples and other multiples I'm gonna get, but that's a problem for another time. An empty item frame indicates that there are no fish in the chest. I was able to take down 10 of those, and that's what created most of the work sorting these fish, because then I had to add the wool and everything else to the chest. I collected 3 extra zebras, one of which was already in the aquarium but hadn't been logged yet. It's a stripy, but I didn't know that yet when I recorded this footage. Interestingly, all the zebras are black and white, meaning they have a black body with a white pattern. None of them have a white body with a black pattern. In the single color department, I added 2 fully red, 2 fully cyan, and 1 fully brown fish. Last but not least, I've added a new statistic: the number of chests that are full. When such an event occurs, I'll be sure to mark it on the outside of the chest, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. All barrels, chests and hoppers are empty. Not to brag or anything, but I've developed quite the eye for spotting exotic fish. As a reminder, I'm here inspecting the waters around Idiot Village because a while back this area was hit by a landslide. What was once a hill is now a vast expanse of water. Around the village, several deep underwater caves have opened up. This one's a good example. Water hugging the wall like that, a sure sign of a natural disaster. So concerned for their safety, the villagers called me in, which is why I'm checking for anything out of the ordinary. Just a moment. It's hard to ignore the pull of an exotic fish, but I think there's only one. Anyway, so far things are looking good. The cave walls are as sturdy as any I've ever seen. There are no signs anywhere of an imminent collapse or any other type of danger. So that's what I think I'm going to be telling the villagers. Well, nice to encounter a cave that's not completely filled with water. Ooh, who are you? Hello. I saw you. Is this your home? There seem to be lots of you. In all different colors. This is quite a large cave. What is that? I need to get down there. This cave feels strangely peaceful and serene. I am worried about breaking my neck going down this cliff, but I don't see or hear any monsters nearby, and I also just feel, I don't know, relaxed. It's very strange. A giant egg. With some sort of antenna sticking out of it? How does that even work? And this here. I think I've walked into a nest. I wonder how long this egg has been here. It looks old and worn. Well, I guess fossilized would be the correct term to use. But what animal would have put it here? And how would it have gotten in? I'm gonna look around for a bit. See if I can spot any big openings. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I knew I'd kept it somewhere. Now picture this. Natural History Museum. Better yet, Ainare Natural History Museum. I know. Ainare is quite far from here. This is where the nature reserve is, and this is where we're at the moment. But the park could do with a bit of a pick-me-up, something that's gonna draw in the crowds, and the egg is exactly that. I'll sell combi tickets that give access to both the nature reserve as well as the cave. This here will be the staff entrance. I put it inside my house because, well, that didn't require a permit. Once it gets approved, the museum building will go somewhere above this space. There's a big open area to the side of the village that I'm hoping to use. I'm not sure yet, but I think I'll let the visitors walk down on a path winding through the upper levels of the cave, so they can already get a first look of the egg from a distance, and then they'll end up here. I'll put some exhibits on the wall, have them watch a short movie, and then eventually the visitors will get herded into this room, where they'll finally get to see the egg up close. Well, as close as this room will allow. I don't want anybody to go near the egg, then I'd have to put up fences which would completely ruin the view, and I want to avoid typical tourist behavior. Is this good? Should I wave my hand? Maybe I should hold out my pickaxe. Pity I forgot my glasses, you know, for that academic look. I also want some close-ups. Oh, this thing is warm. It is warm to the touch. And is that a heartbeat I hear? Oh dear, the egg is alive. This changes everything. As far as good ideas go, this one's not on the list, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm thinking that if I can get this egg to hatch, then I could tame the animal and start a zoo. I may also get eaten, in which case there won't be a zoo. At this point in time, it's very hard to assess my chances. I don't see a way to predict what kind of animal will come out of that egg, so I'm not going to allow visitors down here for a while. For now, I've converted the viewing room into a biology lab that I can use to study the egg and monitor its hatching process. Having said that, it's time to finalize and send in this report. This is Robin on the Zebra mission, over and out.